This video is about she was his mate but his wolf desired another. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The full moon hung low in the sky, casting a soft silver glow over the sprawling land of the Silverwood Pack. Leela, an omega with hair like molten gold, stood at the edge of the forest, her heart racing. Tonight was special. Tonight she would dance with destiny. Leela! A voice pierced through the night. It was Jackson the Alpha. His presence was commanding, even in the shadows. She turned, her breath hitching at the sight of him. His dark mane caught the moonlight, and his eyes held the wildness of the forest. "Are you ready for the ceremony?" he asked, stepping closer, the warmth of his body radiating towards her. She stuttered, feeling the weight of expectation. What if I am not chosen? The fear gripped her chest like a vice. Jackson's gaze softened. You will be. You are meant to be with someone. The moon has a way of guiding hearts. He brushed a stray hair behind her ear, his touch sending electric shocks through her. As the pack gathered, Leela's heart pounded. The scent of pine and earth mingled with the anticipation hanging in the crisp air. She watched as alphas and betas circled the ceremonial fire, their eyes gleaming with primal energy. Tonight, we celebrate our bonds, Jackson announced, his voice deep and steady. But more so, we honor the fated unions that is destined to be together. Leela's heart soared at the thought of finding her mate. She had always dreamt of the moment, the overwhelming connection, the undeniable pull. But her thoughts were tainted by a shadow lurking in her mind. Jackson was not just the alpha, he was bound by a different desire, a forbidden longing for someone else. Just then, the pack's eyes shifted to the forest's edge, where a figure emerged. It was Lara, a fierce beta with silver hair and a spirit as untamed as the wolves themselves. The moment her gaze met Jackson's, a spark ignited. Leela felt her heart sink. He is not yours, her wolf whispered, the instinctual urge to protect what belonged to her rising within. But Leela held back, fighting against the tide of jealousy. As the ceremony continued, Leela found herself on the periphery, watching Jackson and Alara. Their laughter rang through the night like a haunting melody, pulling at the very strings of her heart. Can we talk? Leela's voice trembled as she approached Jackson later, her emotion spilling over like a bubbling spring. Of course, he replied, concern etching into his brow. They stepped away from the others, the crackling fire illuminating their faces. Do you feel something between us? Leela asked, her heart racing. Something more? Jackson hesitated, his brow furrowing. Leela, you are wonderful, but my wolf, he desires Alara. I can't. Can he what, Jackson? Can he choose me? The hurt in her voice was palpable, each word laced with pain. I've always been here for you. I know, but my wolf has a mind of its own, he confessed, the internal conflict evident in his eyes. It is like being torn apart, and I don't want to hurt you. But you already are, Leela whispered, tears brimming. You don't even see me as your mate. Jackson stepped closer, desperation lining his features. That is not true, you are my friend, my confidante, but love, it is complicated. Anger flared within her. You don't get to choose who you love, it is destined. Why can't you see that? Leela, please. He reached for her, but she stepped back, the space between them like a chasm. You have to understand it. No, she interrupted, her voice fierce. You have to understand that I am not just a choice to be made. I am your mate, and you denying everything. The air around them crackled with tension, the moon shining brighter as if urging them to confront their feelings. Jackson's eyes softened, filled with regret. I never wanted to hurt you. I know, she whispered, her heart aching. But you have, the moment you let Alara's presence sway you. The howl of a distant wolf echoed through the trees, sending shivers down her spine. Leela turned away, unable to bear the sight of him any longer. As she retreated into the shadows, her heart ached with betrayal, longing, and an insatiable need for clarity. Later that night, Leela found solace by the riverbank. The cool water shimmered beneath the moonlight, mirroring the turmoil within her. Why is fate so cruel? She murmured to the stars above, seeking answers in the vastness of the universe. Suddenly, the bushes rustled beside her. She turned, and Alara stepped out, her silver hair glowing ethereally. Leela, she said softly, an unexpected gentleness in her voice. Can we talk? What do you want? Leela snapped, bitterness coating her words. The last person she wanted to see was the one who had captured Jackson's wolf. I am not here to fight, Alara replied, holding her hands up in surrender. I just wanted to understand. Understand what? That you've stolen my mate's heart. Leela shot back, pain lacing her voice. UV claimed everything he could offer. Alara shook her head, stepping closer. He is torn between us, and I feel it too. I didn't ask for this connection. Neither did I, Leela said, tears spilling down her cheeks. The weight of her emotions was suffocating. But you've taken him from me. I swear, I never intended for this to happen, Alara said, her voice breaking. Jackson is not just an alpha, he is compassionate, and that kindness drew me in, but my heart is not feeling. Then why are you pursuing him? Leela challenged, the fire of anger reigniting. Because destiny forced our paths to cross, we can control this pull, Alara exclaimed, her desperation matching Leela's. But you must realize he is your mate, the bond between you is sacred. Is it? Leela's voice cracked, the weight of the world pressing on her shoulders. It feels more like a curse. Alara stepped forward, vulnerability etched on her features. What if we could change this? What if we could help him choose? Leela looked at Alara, surprise mixing with uncertainty. Help him? You want me to join forces with you? Not to fight, but to understand. We cannot let our hearts suffer because of fate's games, Alara pleaded, the strength of her resolve shining through. I believe there is a way. What do you have in mind? Leela asked, curiosity piqued despite her skepticism. Let us confront the spirits of the forest, Alara suggested. We'll seek their guidance. They know the true nature of our souls. Leela hesitated, but the flame of hope flickered in her heart. And if they tell us Jackson belongs to you? Alara met her gaze, determination gleaming in her silver eyes. Then we accept it together, but if it is meant to be you, we'll find a way to make him see it. The moon watched over them as they forged an unexpected alliance, two hearts entwined in a quest for love, tangled in a web of destiny. As the river flowed beside them, it carried whispers of fate filled with longing, betrayal, and the promise of redemption. Together, they took a step towards the unknown, the echoes of their wolves guiding them, echoing the hope that perhaps, just perhaps, love could conquer even the cruelest of destinies. The moon hung high above the silver forest, illuminating the path as Leela and Alara ventured deeper into the woods. Each step felt heavy with uncertainty, shadows whispering secrets only the night understood. Leela's heart raced, torn between her need for Jackson and the strange kinship forming with Alara. A bond forged in pain, perhaps, but one that glimmered with the possibility of understanding. Do you really believe the spirits will help us? Leela asked, breaking the silence. The cool, crisp air nipped at their skin, but a warmth blossomed within her, fueled by hope and desperation. I do, Alara replied, her silver hair shimmering in the moonlight. They have guided our ancestors for centuries. We just need to be honest about our intentions. Honesty, Leela echoed, pondering the weight of the word. Would the spirits recognize their alliance? Or would they see only their jealousy and despair? What if they reject us? What if they tell us that Jackson belongs to you? Alara stopped, her gaze steady as she locked eyes with Leela. If that is the truth, we'll confront it together. We can let fear dictate our paths any longer. Together, they trudged onward, the forest thickening around them, a wind whispering through the trees like an ancient lullaby. The scent of damp earth filled the air, mingling with something sweet, a promise of magic lingering just beyond reach. As they approached the glade bathed in moonlight, Leela felt the pull of the spirits. It resonated through her bones, calling out to her, beckoning her to dive deeper into the essence of her fate. Stand with me, Alara instructed, her voice a mix of authority and warmth. They positioned themselves at the center of the glade, the moonlight pouring over them like a silken veil. We must open our hearts and minds. The spirits are listening. Leela took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her emotions coiling tightly within her chest. Spirits of the silver wood, we seek your guidance. Alara's voice rang out, imbued with strength. We are two souls bound by love and longing, caught in a destiny we did not choose. Help us understand our fates. The air trembled, an electric charge sparking between them. A low hum filled the glade, and shadows swirled around them, forming into ethereal shapes, wisps of light and darkness intertwining. Leela's heart raced, a mix of fear and awe taking hold. What do you desire? The voice resonated, echoing through the glade like a distant storm. It was both beautiful and haunting. I want to know my place in Jackson's heart. Leela cried, her voice trembling. I want to understand why fate has chosen to bind us so cruelly. When two wolves are destined to be together, the bond is not easily broken, the voice replied, tongue swirling like autumn leaves in the wind. Yet love can be complicated, desire and loyalty can clash. Alara stepped forward, her voice strong and unwavering. Is there a way to mend this? We both love him, but we also love each other as sisters in this fight. Can we find a path to peace? Peace comes from understanding the depths of your hearts, the voice murmured, weaving through the darkness. What you seek is already within you. The spirit of the moon reveals truths, yet you must be ready to face them. The glade pulsed with energy, and Leela felt the connection pulse stronger, threading through her very essence. A vision flickered before her, a glimpse of Jackson, laughter dancing in his eyes as he ran through the woods with Alara. But in another moment, she saw herself beside him, their fingers laced together, hearts beating as one. "Stop," Leela gasped, clutching her head as the vision spiraled. "I can't bear the pain." The shadows thickened, swirling into a vortex before them. "Understand, Leela, you are connected to his wolf, as is Alara, but the truth you fear to accept may set you free. Let us choose," Alara pleaded. "Let us fight for our love without losing ourselves." "Love cannot be owned," the voice whispered, fading into the night. "It is a bond that transcends possession. The choice is not yours to make." The energy crackled, and the glade fell silent, leaving the two women standing alone in the moonlight, hearts pounding with questions and answers. Leela turned to Lara, her eyes wide. "What does it mean? The spirits, they didn't give us clarity." "They spoke of love without possession," Alara replied, her brow furrowed in thought. "Perhaps it means we must find a way to coexist, to ensure Jackson understands the depth of both our hearts." "But how?" Leela whispered, uncertainty creeping into her voice. "How do we make him see?" Alara's gaze softened, filled with a determination that sparked a flicker of hope within Leela. "Together, we'll show him that love is not a rivalry, we can be stronger united." As they made their way back to the pack, Leela felt a shift within her. The weight of jealousy was still there, but it was tempered by a growing understanding. They were in this together, forging a path through uncertainty, driven by love and the unwavering bond of sisterhood. Arriving at the pack grounds, Jackson stood by the fire, his eyes searching as if he sensed a change in the air. His gaze met Leela's, and a rush of emotion swirled between them, a connection that was both intoxicating and painful. "Alara," Jackson called, moving towards them with purpose. "I was looking for you." Leela held her breath, heart racing. How was she going to face him? Would he notice the new bond she shared with Alara? "Jackson," Alara said, steeling herself as she stepped forward. "We need to talk." Leela stood back, her heart aching. She could watch them together, but she couldn't let bitterness consume her. Not now, not after what they'd discovered. "What is going on?" he asked, concern etching into his features. "We've seen the spirits," Alara stated firmly. "They revealed truths about our hearts and their connection to you." Jackson's brows knitted together, confusion dancing in his eyes. "What do you mean?" Leela stepped forward, her voice steady despite the tumult inside. "We want you to see that love is not a competition. Alara is drawn to you, but I am too. We are both here for you, Jackson." Jackson's expression shifted to surprise, then uncertainty. "But how can that be? You are both my mates, yet you can "No, Jackson," Alara interjected, her voice fierce. "We were not asking for you to choose between us. We were asking you to accept the love that binds us all. The spirits taught us that love is not possession, it's connection." Leela felt the air thicken with tension, the pack's eyes upon them, curious and expectant. "You mean we can share this?" he asked, struggling to comprehend the gravity of their words. "Yes," Leela said, her heart pounding. "We can be strong together if we all accept this bond." Jackson's eyes flickered between them, the turmoil within him palpable. "You both? You truly want to do this?" "For you, and for us," Alara affirmed, her hand brushing against Leela's in a gesture of solidarity. Leela nodded, hope flickering in her heart. "We can face the future together, Jackson. You don't have to bear this burden alone." The weight of his internal struggle was clear as he stepped closer, searching their faces. "But what if it doesn't work? What if one of us gets hurt?" "Then we'll deal with it together," Alara replied, her voice strong. "But we won't regret trying." Jackson took a deep breath, the tension in his shoulders relaxing ever so slightly. "Then let us embrace this. Love shouldn't be a source of pain. Let us write our story." As the words hung in the air, a sense of calm washed over them, a promise of hope amid chaos. The moon shone down upon them, illuminating their tangled fates, three hearts bound by desire, longing, and an unwavering commitment to finding peace. In that moment, beneath the silver light, they began to forge a new understanding, a path laden with trials yet filled with the potential for a love that transcended all. Together, they would navigate the complexities of their hearts, armed with courage, trust, and the unbreakable bond of destiny. The first rays of dawn broke through the dense canopy, the world waking in hues of gold and amber. Leela stood at the edge of the silverwood clearing, the echoes of last night still pulsating in her heart. The transformative pact with Alara and Jackson felt both exhilarating and terrifying, like standing on the precipice of a great chasm. Are you ready? Alara's soft voice broke through her thoughts, the silver-haired beta stepping up beside her, eyes reflecting a mix of hope and uncertainty. Leela nodded, though her heart fluttered in her chest. Ready as I'll ever be, but what if the pact doesn't accept this arrangement? We'll all face it together, Alara reassured her, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We've come too far to back down now. Love is more powerful than any tradition. As they approached the gathering of the Silverwood Pack, the atmosphere was electric with tension. Whispers fluttered through the crowd like startled birds, eyes darting between Jackson, Alara, and Leela. Jackson stood tall, his presence commanding yet vulnerable as he awaited their arrival. Everyone, gather round. Jackson called, his voice steady but laced with an undertone of unease. The pack obeyed, forming a semicircle, their gazes fixed on the trio. Leela's stomach twisted as she felt the weight of their scrutiny. Leela, Lara, you both came to me last night with a decision that requires courage, Jackson began, his deep voice echoing in the still morning air. I want to honor your feelings, but there will be consequences if we choose this path. Alara stepped forward, her voice clear and unwavering. We stand before you not as rivals, but as allies in love. We recognize the bond we share with you, Jackson, and we wish to embrace it. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Leela clenched her fists, feeling the collective disbelief. We can keep living under the weight of expectations, she added, her voice trembling but resolute. Love shouldn't be confined to tradition. We deserve to explore this. Jackson's gaze shifted among the pack, uncertainty clouding his features. You both truly believe this can work, that you can share a mate? We believe in love, Alara declared, her fierce spirit illuminating the space. Love that is boundless. It is time for our pack to evolve. And now the wolf stepped forward, his fur a streak of silver and wisdom. Love is sacred, but it is also a responsibility. What you propose risks the harmony of this pack. Then let us prove that we can strengthen it. Leela exclaimed, desperation creeping into her voice. Together, we can show that love is not a burden but a bond that unites us all. The elder's gaze softened slightly, but doubt lingered. You tread on sacred ground, and once, if this union leads to heartbreak, what then? Our hearts are already at risk, Jackson interjected, stepping closer to Leela and Alara, a protective glimmer in his eyes. But if we be honest, we can build something beautiful, something the pack can see is strong. The tension hung in the air, thick and suffocating. Leela exchanged a glance with Alara, both women silently willing the other to find the right words. Finally, Alara spoke, her voice imbued with a fierce determination. We will fight for our love, not just for ourselves, but for everyone who has ever felt torn between duty and desire. Jackson's heart swelled at Alara's words, a warmth radiating through him as he thought of the bond they shared. Then we will forge this path together, but we must face the consequences of our choices. As the pack murmured among themselves, Leela felt a rush of exhilaration mixed with fear. Then let us show them what love can do, she whispered to Alara, who nodded in solidarity. Days passed, and the trio navigated the complexities of their newfound relationship. Leela felt herself growing closer to both Jackson and Alara, the bond they shared shifting and deepening with each passing moment. Yet, whispers of discontent among the pack lingered like shadows, threatening to engulf them. One evening, Leela found herself alone in the woods, seeking solace beneath the stars. The night enveloped her like a blanket, and she could hear the distant howls of wolves echoing through the trees. As she closed her eyes, she felt a presence beside her. Leela. It was Jackson, his voice slow and captivating. I've been searching for you. She turned to him, her heart racing. What is wrong? I'd overheard some members of the pack discussing our bond, he confessed, stepping closer, his warmth radiating against the cool night air. They fear for the stability of our pack. They think we re-breaking tradition. But we recreating a new tradition. Leela exclaimed, desperation edging her tone. A tradition rooted in love rather than obligation. I know, he replied, taking her hands in his. But what if they can't accept us? What if this all ends in chaos? Leela's resolve faltered for a moment, but she pushed through the doubt. We can allow fear to dictate our hearts. I believe in us, Jackson. I believe in this love. Suddenly, a rustle in the bushes interrupted their moment, and Alara emerged, her expression solemn. Jackson, Leela, we need to talk. There was an incident. What happened? Jackson's voice tightened with concern. One of the betas challenged me about our bond, Alara explained, her voice steady despite the storm swelling within her. He believes that we re-undermining our pack as hierarchy. Leela felt her heart drop. What did you say? I stood my ground. I told him that love cannot be contained by tradition, Alara replied, her eyes fierce. But now others have rallied behind him. They may not allow this to stand. Jackson's jaw clenched, the weight of the situation pressing heavily on his shoulders. We all faced them together. We can't let this tear us apart. As they stood united, Leela felt an overwhelming sense of love for the two of them. No matter what happens, we reach stronger together. We all show them that love can overcome fear. Days turned into weeks, and the tension within the pack escalated. The night of the full moon arrived, the air thick with anticipation. The pack gathered at the ceremonial ground, the atmosphere electric with uncertainty. Leela's heart raced as she took her place beside Jackson and Alara, the three of them standing as one. The time has come to address the pack, Jackson announced, his voice unwavering. We must confront the doubts that linger among us. Alara stepped forward, her spirit unyielding. We stand here as three souls intertwined by love, not rivalry. We come to you not to disrupt the order, but to elevate it. Leela felt the weight of the pack's eyes upon them, a tidal wave of emotion swirling in her chest. We want to show you that love can transcend boundaries, that it can bind us stronger than any tradition. The elder from before stepped forward, his expression grave. And what if this bond leads to division? What if your desires lead to chaos? Jackson's gaze burned with determination. Then we will face the chaos together. We all fight for our love, for each other, and for the pack. A murmur rippled through the crowd, uncertainty hanging in the air. Leela took a deep breath, her voice steady as she spoke. We all deserve to love freely. We all deserve to fight for happiness, and it is time to break free from the chains of fear. Just as her words drifted into the night, a low growl reverberated from the edge of the gathering. A dark figure emerged, a rogue wolf, eyes glinting with malice. The air grew tense, and Leela's heart raced. I will not accept this chaos, the rogue snarled, challenging Jackson. You think you can redefine our pack with your trifling desires? Without hesitation, Jackson stepped forward, his alpha instincts igniting. This is our choice, and we will defend it. The rogue lunged, and chaos erupted. Leela and Alara sprang into action, instinctively moving to Jackson's side. The pack watched in disbelief as the three of them stood together, fierce and unyielding. With the power of their bond coursing through them, they fought as one, a whirlwind of motion, love, and resilience. Leela could feel the energy surging within her. The connection they shared was magnetic, propelling them forward. After an intense struggle, Jackson delivered the final blow, the rogue brought to his knees. Breathing heavily, he turned to the pack, the weight of their eyes heavy upon him. This is our bond, he proclaimed, chest heaving. We fight for love, for our pack, and for the freedom to exist without fear. A silence fell over the gathering, the air thick with uncertainty. Finally, the elder stepped forward, his gaze piercing yet thoughtful. You have proven that love can conquer even the darkest of challenges, but it will require vigilance and unity. Leela looked to Jackson and Alara, a sense of hope blossoming within her. The dawn after the battle against the rogue felt surreal. The Silverwood pack was slowly beginning to recognize the bond forged between Leela, Jackson, and Alara, yet the shadows of doubt still lurked in their hearts. As the sun rose higher, Leela stood before the morning mist, her thoughts a whirlpool of emotions. Is it too much to hope for peace? She wondered aloud as she gazed across the clearing. The world was beautiful in its quietude, yet she felt the storm within her. Leela? Alara's voice broke through her reverie, filled with warmth as she approached. We need to talk. Turning to her, Leela forced a smile. About last night, or the pack's acceptance, because I feel like we're riding on a tightrope. Alara took a deep breath, her silver hair glowing like a halo in the soft light. Both, but mostly about the future. Jackson has been restless since the rogue attack. He feels the weight of responsibility. He shouldn't bear it alone, Leela replied, her heart aching for him. We chose this path together, and we must remind him of that. Alara nodded, determination etched in her features. Then let us go to him. He needs to see that we are not just allies in battle, we are partners in life. As they walked towards the center of the clearing, Leela's heart raced. Would Jackson see them as he had before, the unwavering support of two mates, or would he still feel isolated in his role as the alpha? When they found him, he was pacing, his brow deeply furrowed. Jackson, Leela called softly, stepping into his line of sight. He stopped, his gaze flickering between the two women. Leela, Alara, I've been thinking. His voice trailed off, lost in the weight of unspoken fears. About what? Alara asked, concern creeping into her tone as she stepped closer. You can carry this alone. Jackson rubbed a hand through his dark mane, frustration etched on his handsome features. I am the alpha, and that means I must protect you both, but after last night I can't help but wonder if our bond is too fragile. Fragile? Lila's voice rose, frustration igniting within her. You think our love is a weakness. It is our strength. We face chaos together. We can face anything. Lila, I didn't mean to imply. Jackson began, but she cut him off, the passion of her emotions spilling over. Didn't he mean to imply what? That we real liability? Her voice wavered, tears pooling in her eyes. That our bond makes you weak? No, but it's not like that. He stepped closer, desperation lacing his voice. I love you both, but I am terrified of what could happen. What if our pact turns against us? What if I can't keep you safe? Lara stepped forward, her voice soothing. We won't let fear dictate our lives. The spirit showed us that love is a force that can change everything. If we stand united, they cannot break us. Jackson sighed, his shoulders slumping, the tension of leadership weighing heavily on him. I need to know that you are both committed to this, not just for me, but for the pack. Otherwise, I fear it will all end in chaos. We are committed, Lila affirmed, her heart pounding. But you must trust us too. We can carry this burden alone, and you can push us away. We are stronger together. His gaze softened as he looked at them, the flicker of hope igniting in his chest. I want to believe that. I don't know how to navigate this. But then we learn together, Alara said firmly, resting her hand on his arm. This bond we share is new, but it is also beautiful. It can redefine our pack if we give it the chance it deserves. Jackson's shoulders relaxed a fraction. All right then, he murmured, a hint of a smile tugging at his lips. Let us face this head on. As they began to strategize how to address the pack and encourage acceptance of their union, the atmosphere shifted. There was a renewed sense of purpose, though the weight of their challenges still loomed heavily over them. Days turned to weeks, and the tension within the pack remained, simmering beneath the surface. Layla felt the strain of whispers in the night, the doubts and fears of those who couldn't accept their bond. It gnawed at her, driving her to seek solace by the riverbank once more. She closed her eyes, listening to the water's soothing song, hoping to find clarity. The voice broke through her thoughts, and she opened her eyes to find Jackson standing nearby, concern etched into his features. Hey, she replied softly, forcing a smile despite the turmoil within. Just thinking. About the pact, he asked, stepping closer. About everything, she admitted, her heart aching. I am scared, Jackson. What if they never accept us? He knelt beside her, taking her hands in his. We all face it together. We've already proven our strength. We can show them that love can be powerful, that it can unite rather than divide. But some of them are still skeptical, Leela said, her voice barely above a whisper. What if they see our love as a threat? What if it tears us apart instead? Jackson's thumb brushed over her knuckles, sending warmth coursing through her. Love is never a threat, Leela. It is a choice. Together, we'll choose to fight for it, and the pack will see that. She leaned closer, their foreheads touching as their breaths mingled in the cool air. I want to believe that, Jackson. I want to believe in us. His eyes locked onto hers, filled with a mixture of passion and vulnerability. Then let us show them. Let us make them see the truth in our love. With that, they stood together, united, the bond between them stronger than the doubts that lingered in the pack. As the moon rose that night, illuminating the forest in silver light, they prepared to face their destiny. The night of the gathering arrived, and the clearing buzzed with anticipation. Leela's heart raced as she stood beside Jackson and Alara, their connection palpable. The pack assembled, eyes filled with curiosity, skepticism, and a hint of fear. We've gathered here tonight to address the future of our pack, Jackson began, his voice resonating through the clearing. Leela felt a swell of pride as she watched him take charge. We stand as one, free hearts entwined by love, not rivalry. Alara stepped forward, her presence commanding. We understand that this bond is unconventional, but love cannot be bound by tradition. We wish to show you that this love can strengthen our pack, not diminish it. Leela took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their gazes. We were asking for your trust, for your understanding. Love is powerful, it can unite us, forge a bond that cannot be broken by fear. A murmur rippled through the crowd, uncertainty hanging in the air like a thick fog. Suddenly, a figure stepped forward, an elder wolf with fur streaked with silver, his expression stern. You wish to change the very fabric of our tradition, he said, his voice booming. What you propose is risky. Love can lead to chaos. Are you prepared for the consequences? We were prepared to fight for our love, Jackson replied, stepping closer to Leela and Alara. We'll show you that love can bring us together, can heal the fractures that have formed among us. Just as he finished speaking, a familiar voice echoed from the back of the crowd. And what if your bond leads to heartache? What if this love brings destruction? It was the rogue from the previous encounter, his eyes glinting with malice. Becca's tension thickened and Leela felt her heart race. Enough, Jackson growled, stepping forward, muscles taut. This is not the challenge. Love is not the weakness to be exploited. You think you can redefine our pact? The rogue sneered, eyes fixated on Leela. You will regret this choice. At that moment, Leela felt a surge of energy course through her. She stepped forward, heart pounding. No, we will not regret our love. We will embrace it and face whatever comes together. The rogue's lips curled into a sinister smile. Then let us see how strong your bond really is. In an instant, chaos erupted. The rogue lunged, and Leela barely had time to react. Jackson and Alara sprang into action, their instincts honed from countless battles. Together, they fought against the rogue, the air thick with tension and the echoes of their unity. Leela felt the power of their bond surge within her, propelling her forward. As the rogue fought fiercely, she caught glimpses of their connection, her heart racing, entwined with Jackson and Alara in a dance of strength and resilience. Finally, with a fierce growl, Jackson delivered a decisive blow, bringing the rogue to his knees. Breathing heavily, he turned to face the pack, his eyes blazing.